Good morning, folks. I'm beaming in to you from my garden this morning. I hear the weather forecast sort of for later in the week maybe isn't as good, so I'm taking full advantage by sitting out here for a little while this morning. And just checking in with you about how I'm getting on with this challenge, the Unlimited Human Challenge Day 2. So those of you who watched my video yesterday will know that I decided I was going to spend this extra time in the morning decluttering. And I did a great job yesterday and enjoyed it, got stuck in, and in fact I cleared half of the unit sort of during the hour in the morning, and then I managed to clear the rest of it in the afternoon. So I set my alarm last night for 6:15 this morning, and a bit like Dean, I got to bed a little bit earlier last night because I was feeling a bit fatigued yesterday evening, having got up earlier than usual. So I set my alarm, and my intention was to get up and clear out a cupboard in the downstairs shower room. So, what's that saying? Swipe left. Okay. So that's what I did. I came down the stairs and sort of opened the cupboard, and I have to say, getting up this morning was hard. My alarm went off and I didn't feel like getting out of bed at all. I woke up and for some reason my right eye was really watery and swollen, and I don't know whether it's I used a pillow spray last night sort of to help me drift off into beautiful sleep, and I think I may have actually got some of it in my eye. So I was feeling a bit annoyed with that in the first instance. Opened up the bathroom cupboard and my first thought was, oh, there's all this stuff in here that I have to go through. Hi, Patrick. Good morning to you. You've been up very early, I think, this morning. Good on you. So opened up the bathroom cupboard. My first thought was, eek. Started pulling things out. Not feeling great. Not feeling that positive. Finding things like tea tree oil out of date since 2009, an antiseptic cream out of date for another 5 or 6 years. Starting to feel actually a bit annoyed with myself. Thinking, you know, why have you let all this rubbish, this crap accumulate in cupboards, and now you have to spend time sort of, you know, getting rid of it when if you just got rid of it at the time. Then at about 6:25, I heard Max upstairs. I could hear him sort of starting to sing. Now that's very early for him to be awake, and I thought, oh, you're going to wake Marco up. Marco didn't get to sleep until late last night, so I thought he's going to be tired, so that sort of irritated me too. And then I just said, you know, stop, you know, hang on here a minute. So I went upstairs and I sort of settled Max down, got him to be a little bit quieter. He could start reading instead of singing at the top of his voice to wake his brother up. And I made myself a cup of herbal tea and came and sat outside for a few moments, just to settle myself, just to sort of, you know, think about, hang on here a minute, this is not how this is supposed to be. You know, you're getting annoyed with yourself, you're not in a good frame of mind. Just take a few minutes time out, you know, to sit in the garden, to feel the air, to listen to the birds, and to reset and regroup, which I did. And I went back in and continued to clear out the cupboard. Now, it wasn't the most enjoyable thing in the world, I have to say. But what I did try my best to do was to bring acceptance to the situation. And that's what I want to talk to you about this morning. I have been reading the Eckhart Tolle book, A New Earth. I just finished it on Sunday. And towards the end of it, there's a paragraph or a sort of a chapter that really resonated with me, and it's what I remembered and picked up on this morning when I was able to bring awareness to how I was feeling and what was going on with me. And Eckhart Tolle talks about I've got the book here, the 3 modalities of awakened doing, and he says there are 3 ways in which consciousness can flow into what you do, and thus through you into the world. This means the underlying energy frequency that flows into you and connects you to what you're doing. And he says the 3 modalities of awakened doing are acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. Now, this, as I say, has really resonated with me. He says that you need to be vigilant to make sure that one of those, i.e. acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm operates whenever you're engaged in doing anything at all, from the most simple task to the most complex. And here's the sentence that really resonated with me this morning. If you are not in the state of either acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm, look closely and you will find that you are creating suffering for yourself and others. So what was happening this morning when I was carrying out this task, when I was clearing out the cupboard, I wasn't in a state of acceptance. I wasn't going to enjoy it, okay? I sort of, yesterday I enjoyed clearing out the cupboards that had all these mementos and keepsakes and photographs of my kids. It was enjoyable. There was things to look at, things to read, things to laugh at. I wasn't bringing great enthusiasm to it this morning either, probably because I was feeling a bit sort of out of sorts, sort of a bit locked up and whatever. But I wasn't even accepting it, okay? I was resisting what I was doing. So what I was actually doing was bringing suffering to myself, i.e. I was creating negative energy for myself and putting myself in a bad mood, essentially, okay? And when it talks about bringing suffering to yourself and to others, well, if I had just gone on in that vein and hadn't sort of gone outside and given myself a mental shake, I would have just escalated that sort of negative feeling, and then, when the kids got up, I'd probably have been barking at them, barking at my husband, and just creating stress in the house in the morning, which can happen so easily and does happen so easily. The only reason that I managed to sort of stop and give myself that mental shake this morning was because I knew I had to, or was going to, wanted to sit and talk to you about this a little bit later. It allowed me to bring awareness to what was going on. It made me sort of stop and think, hang on here a minute, what's going on? Instead of just continuing with that mood, letting it escalate and letting it cause suffering or, stress in the house in the morning. So I'm going to read you, I'm not going to talk specifically about the three, sort of enjoyment and enthusiasm. I'm just going to talk a little bit about acceptance, because I think this is very, very relevant to sort of lots of areas of all of our lives. So it says here, whatever you cannot enjoy doing, you can at least accept that this is what you have to do. Acceptance means, for now, this is what this situation, this moment, requires me to do, and so I do it willingly. Okay? So, what you're doing then is, and he talks about sort of for any sort of tedious tasks, and I find a lot of tasks tedious, a lot of repetitive tasks, like laundry, so getting the clothes, putting them in, sorting them out to go in the washing machine, taking them out of the washing machine, either hanging them on the clothesline or the clothes horse, folding them, putting them away, ironing, cleaning, loading the dishwasher, unloading the dishwasher, tidying up, all of those things I find tedious and repetitive. But if I bring acceptance to them, I can at least allow myself not to cause myself suffering, not to cause myself stress, not to put myself in a bad mood, just to take it, as he says there. What was it he said? You can at least accept that this is what you have to do. This is what this situation, this moment requires me to do, and so I do it willingly. Okay? So that's really my sort of, the lesson for me, that I'm taking out of today, is that there are things in our lives that are just part of our lives, part of things that we, that we need to do, like, as I say, laundry and so on and so forth. And we can either accept them or resist them, and if you start, I'll talk about myself, if I start the laundry with I'm sick of this, I'm fed up of doing laundry, I'm fed up of picking children's socks up off the floor, and all I'm doing is getting myself into a bad place, giving myself negative energy, putting myself in a bad and stressful place, which then spills out into the next thing that I do, and the next thing, and the conversations that I have, and so on. So I am going to practice as much as I can, and I know it won't happen every time, acceptance of those tedious things that are just part of everyday life, and bring my presence to them, and do my best not to be in a state of resistance. So that's my intention for today. We talk about setting intention. So my intention for today is acceptance of the things that I can't bring enjoyment or enthusiasm to. And also awareness of where I'm going in my head, awareness of the thoughts that are arising. And as Dean sort of mentioned, I think yesterday, hanging on to the good thoughts and giving them more airtime, and any sort of negative thoughts that are coming through, just trying to let them go. But equally accepting that they're there, but not attaching to them and letting them go. So wherever you are today, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I look forward to catching up with you again live tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.